Okie dokie. Yeah, no, I'm not done yet. Hextall getting fired, Alsner being waived, totally cut into what I was going to do this morning. And what I was going to do was this. Let's talk about Cory Schneider. Cory Schneider is off to an absolutely miserable start to the season. And the question starts to get raised, is this the start of perhaps the end of Schneider's career? And how weird would that be considering the way it started? Back in 2004, Vancouver picked him in the first round, 26th overall. And Schneider, absolutely fantastic amateur career, and really played very, very well. Part of what sold Canuck fans on Thatcher Demko was the idea that Demko had the same pedigree as did Cory Schneider. So we're like, all right, we can do that. And right out of the gate, it was, this guy's going to be between the nets for the Vancouver Canucks, and he's going to be awesome. So around the same time, well, no, it's shortly before we end up getting Luongo, and then the idea was, all right, you got Luongo, and then you got Schneider. Goaltending is never a problem for the Canucks again. Yeah. So he's playing it. He ends up in Manitoba. He gets a call up in 2008. The fear at the time was he may not have been ready, and that kind of works out that way. He plays 8 games, 2 wins, 4 losses, 1 overtime loss, 3.38 goals against, 877 save percentage. And I'm telling you, Canuck fans are so impatient. The idea was, we should just get rid of him. This kid's not going to be anything at the NHL level. Look at him against NHL level talent. We know he does well at the American League. Before other NHL teams figure out that he's going to be a bust, we should move him. I saw the posts, I remember. But hockey fans can be very, very impatient, and especially with goaltenders. 2009, 2010, he only played 2 games that year, 1 loss, 3.81 goals against. The encouraging thing is the .915 save percentage. But again, there were these people that thought, this is ridiculous. He's being held in the minors. He should have been playing already. And so when people say stuff like that about Demko, once Demko starts playing, and I'm sure he's going to play well, just remember back to Cory Schneider. 2010, 2011, this is the year of infamy and fame at the same time. Vancouver, 25 games played, 16 wins, 4 losses, 2 overtime losses, 2.23 goals against, .929 save percentage, and he had a share of the Jennings with Luongo. Now, with this season and his 2.23 goals against, his .929 save percentage, what started happening was something that I think was uncomfortable for Schneider and Luongo. Schneider was kind of the better goaltender of the two at times. And when you look at that Stanley Cup final, I think there were a lot of fans, including myself, that felt Schneider should have started on the road in Boston. Luongo starts at home. Schneider starts on the road. I don't know if the Canucks win the Cup that way, but they could have. And if we're going to look to recent history for a team that tried that, I would look to Nashville with UC Saros starting in Pittsburgh, and yeah, it doesn't necessarily help. Sometimes a team just has your number in their city. But coming out of that season, it was clear that he was going to be the starter. 2011-2012, 33 games played, 20 wins, 8 losses, 1 tie, 1.96 goals against, .937 save percentage. Those are still records for Vancouver. June 28th of 2012, he signs a 3-year, $12 million deal that will start in 2012-2013. You don't sign a guy for that kind of money if he's not going to be your starter. So everything gets really, really uncomfortable at this point, because now Luongo's not just holding the seat for Schneider, now he's fighting over it with Schneider. And I never heard anything publicly about any kind of rift or tension between Luongo and Schneider. Luongo gets the business, so does Schneider. It had to be uncomfortable for them. And 2011-2012 was kind of the year where the Canucks said, yep, our starter is going to be Cory Schneider. 2012-2013, however, he only plays 30 games, 17 wins, 9 losses, 4 overtime draws, 2.11 goals against, .927 save percentage. And there's some awkward moments where it's like, oh, he's the starter. Oh, he's not feeling well. Luongo, can you start? And you could tell Luongo didn't really want to be there. And there were a lot of rumors 2012-2013 that Luongo absolutely wanted out. He didn't want anything to do with playing in Vancouver anymore, and he was kind of done. And then Cory Schneider is traded to New Jersey for a number 9 pick that becomes Bo Horvat. This was months after there were rumors of Toronto making a substantial offer for Roberto Luongo's services, and Mike Gillis deciding he wanted to hit a home run with Luongo. It became a swing and a miss. So instead, you trade your future goaltender in Schneider. And it was a very unpopular deal at the time. If I'd had a YouTube channel then, I'm sure that video would have gone pretty viral pretty quick. But after the trade to New Jersey, Jersey's looking at this, and Lou Lamoriello's looking like a genius. Because you've got Marty Brodeur, who's getting long in the tooth. Let's be honest, he was long in the tooth at the time that the trade was made. And so Schneider's going to be the starter. But it's an uncomfortable conversation you have to have with Brodeur. So now instead of being in a position where he's the backup guy behind Luongo, a guy who I think belongs in the Hall of Fame. I know people are going to argue with me on that one. Now he's a backup to a current Hall of Famer in Marty Brodeur. Uncomfortable. First year there, plays 43 games, 16 wins, 15 losses, 12 overtime losses, 1.97 goals against, and a .921 save percentage. In good faith and because they want to make sure that their starter is happy for his entire run, on July 9th of 2014, he signs a 7-year, $42 million contract that will kick in 2015-2016. So before the 2014-2015 seasons even started, they pay him for 7 years after that, meaning for 8 years, Schneider's your goalie. The New Jersey Devils are set, and that's that. 14-15, the first season after signing that contract. Now remember, he was making $4 million a year before that. It's going to go up to $7 million, and he's worth $7 million. Let's not make any qualms about that. Part of the reason the Canucks were willing to move him as well was because he was due for a big raise, and they didn't want to have to pay both Luongo and Schneider. Thankfully, the Canucks wouldn't be paying either of them. 2014-2015, 69 games played, 26 wins, 31 losses, 9 overtime losses. 2.26 net goals against, .925 save percentage. So he's been handed the crease in New Jersey. The problem is it's not a very good team. So while his numbers are excellent, the team is not. 2015-2016, 58 games played, 27 wins, 25 losses, 6 overtime losses, 2.15 goals against, .924 save percentage, and he plays in an all-star game. So for Schneider, the sky's the limit. Things look great. This is the first year of his new contract. It's over a year after signing it, and they still look good. 2016-2017 is when things start going sour. 60 games played, 20 wins, 27 losses, 11 overtime losses, 2.82 goals against, .908 save percentage. People start talking about Schneider's game as he's lost a step or something's wrong. He's not playing as well as he did in previous seasons. The channel at this point being at least started, I defended that I still thought he was a top 10 goaltender in the league. And that I thought that he would bounce back. Because before that .908, he had a .924, .925, a .921, .927, .937, .929. His save percentages had always been excellent. He had the best career save percentage of any goaltender who had played, I think it was 300 games. I think that's what it was at the time. And really honestly looked like he was still on pace to be one of the best goaltenders of his generation. I had him pegged as an excellent follow-up to Marty Brodeur, or Roberto Luongo if he'd stayed with these guys. Should have. 17-18, though, is an injury-riddled campaign. 40 games, 17 wins, 16 losses, 6 overtime losses. 2.93 goals against, .907 save percentage. Following last season, of course, I can no longer make the argument he's top 10. I can't make the argument he's top 15. And now we're at a stage where we can't make the argument he's a starter. He's played 6 games this year. He has 5 losses, 4.28 goals against, .863 save percentage. He's played a grand total of 376 games, has 161 wins, 145 losses, 52 overtime or shootout losses, 2.38 goals against, .919 save percentage. That .919 is still excellent career, but it doesn't save him right now. And I think for Cory Schneider right now, this is the darkest that it's been, because honestly his numbers up until a couple years ago were fantastic. And last year, the injury-riddled campaign, maybe he didn't get that back. Maybe it's a confidence issue. And I've joked and I've remarked before that I'd take him back with the Canucks. And I'm not 100% kidding about that. I'm really not. I would honestly, I think as a member of the Canucks, I think I would enjoy seeing Schneider back. But he's 32 years of age, and we are reaching a point now where I don't know if he can get back to that. It's not that long ago he was in the All-Star game. It's not that long ago that he was one of the better goaltenders in the league. But because of the last 2 seasons and 6 games, it feels like forever ago. So I'm not sure where it goes from here. I know that for Cory Schneider, it's a low point, and I hope he can come through it. I know that goose egg next to the Winds might be why he allows goals so frequently early in games. It's something that Luongo's had throughout most of his career too, though. I lost count of how many times in Vancouver Luongo would allow a goal on the first shot. It got really frustrating. But Schneider's got that too, and he's not locking it down after. So I don't want to pile on him. I don't. I want to see him pull through this. I like Cory Schneider a lot. He is one guy that makes me say, yeah, I would cheer for the Devils in a series against a lot of teams if Cory Schneider's a starter, because I want to see him emerge from this as Cory Schneider, as the goaltender who had this fantastic save percentage, great goals against average, and managed to steal some games. So let me know what you guys think. Where do you think the problem lies, or do you think this is a matter of it's a goaltender who may very well be on his way out of the league? Or a year from now, are we talking about the resurgence of Cory Schneider? I'd be interested to know your thoughts in the comment section below as always. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe if you're browsing your way through this video and just happen upon it. And no, I don't consider this to be part of the goalie of the future curse, because he did enjoy 4 seasons as the starter with New Jersey, and then it's injuries that submarine him, and he doesn't seem to be able to recover from that. So I don't qualify that as part of the curse. But thank you guys so much for watching. I'll talk to you again soon.